Good Friday morning! Today we are going to see how to transform JSON data into TypeScript objects. You are watching Dev and I'm Stefan. Okay, so we need a TypeScript project. For that, we are going to initialize a TypeScript project and we are going to make a source directory. In this source directory, we are going to write a new TypeScript file. It's going to be main. I don't know. Okay. And we also need some dependencies. So for that, we are going to do yarn init, and we are going to answer to all the question, like we can keep it naturally. Okay. So for this video we don't have a real API to call, so we will use request. Request is a website that provides you hosted REST API ready to respond to your AJAX request. So it's perfect for us. We will just take the ones that send back a user. Okay, it's this one. We will do that in the main. So it's function main. Let's try something like that. And we will call main function here. We will need, for example, Axios to do the call. So yarn add, and we are just going to do like nothing function, and we are going to call await axios.get and our user. Let's try to retrieve the user too. So it's going to be const user 2 equal and we are going to log it. So console.log user2. Let's try and see what's happened here. To run it, we need two things. The first thing is TypeScript dependency that will provide the way to use the TypeScript method. And the second one will be ts-node-dev. It's like a runner you can use that will respawn and rerun your main file to test it. And after that, we can just run yarn run ts-node-dev respawn transpile only, and our main file. It's going to run our main file and we are going to see the response. So the response is a complex object because we got here just all the response. So what we are going to do is say that this is the response. So now it's better. I have here user, but this user is a simple JSON object. So what we are going to do now is to try to transform it to our real TypeScript class. So for that, we are going to generate the TypeScript class in our code. So let's try to add a new user file, and let's define the export class, and it's going to be class user. It's going to have like an ID, an email, a first name, a last name, and avatar. What happened? Okay, it changed nothing. And if I try to do const user 3, it's going to be like a new user to print user 3. So the main difference here is, as we can see, here we have a simple JSON object, and here we have like a user typed object. So it's there's a difference, because for example, if I have like method here, so it will be generate hello, it's going to return hello that first name. I can call the generate hello here. Let's set the first name Joe, and let's try to call like generate hello, and here it worked. I can say hello to Joe using the method generate hello. So now what I want to do is to do the same here. I want to say hello to user 2. Let's see what happens. So it doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? I got a response. I said that user 2 is a user, and a user has a generate hello method, but I'm not able to call it. But why? Because if you remember, user 2 is not here. Is not a user, it's a simple object. So this is the issue. So what we can do to do that is like to say that user 2 is a new user. Let's simplify and remove Joe. So user 2 is a new user, and we will try to call generate hello. So it works. But we want user 2 to have a first name, so we can set user 2 the first name. Let's try, and now it worked. But if I want to change generate hello to say the first name and the last name, try to run it again, I got an undefined. Why? Because I didn't set the last name, so I have to do that for the last name. And yeah, so it's very annoying, and it's a lot of work to do, because for every property of my user I have to set it. So what I can do is just to, for example, spread the data. For example, I can do that, and that I need user 2 to not be a constant, and it still doesn't work. Why? Because the spread operator will copy only the property. So what we can do is to try to set the prototype of the user to maintain the method and use it. And now I have the method again, but I lost the property. Such an annoying thing. So let's see how we can manage this. We will set that is the user data. So we have our user and some user data. So to achieve that, to be able to copy the JSON data into our user, we will need a library. We are going to use class transformer. So let's add class transformer. This library gives us a method that we will be able to use to copy the JSON data into our user object. So let's try. The method is called plain to class. This method is taking like the class type property following by the data. So we just have to say that is we want to retrieve a user that contain our user data, and let's see what happens. So it's amazing. Now I can call hello for the retrieve user. So to conclude, a good way to be able to transform user JSON data into our user object is to use the method plain to class of class transformer. This method takes like the first parameter is the class type and the second is the data. You can also use other function other option, and everything is in the code source. You will be able to do that, to exclude property, to validate the data, to transform the data. For example, if I go to my user and I said that I want the first name to be capitalized, I can just set transform and take the value and return value that to I will do it very simple to uppercase, and it's going to transform the first name as an uppercase first name. I did nothing, just I said like a decorator here above the first name and says that it must transform the value into an uppercase value, and this is going to do the job. So as you can see now, Janet is uppercase. So it's amazing. It's a very simple way to do that. It provides you lots of features. You can do like class verification too. It's amazing. So I hope this video helped you, and see you soon for the next video.